Hello everyone, happy Sunday. Welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I'd take some time to answer the two questions I get asked the most. Number one, what is Miss Great Britain? And number two, how do you win yourself one of these? Honestly, the temptation to just wear this around the house when I'm hoovering all the time, in my car, I just love wearing it. It's not particularly subtle though. Can't exactly wear it around to Tesco, can you? So this is going to be a very chilled video today. I have my cup of tea ready because we're just going to have a chat. I do not have a full face of pageant makeup on because that is just not the reality of how I live my everyday life. So let's get into it. So we're going to start with number one. What is Miss Great Britain? Well, Miss Great Britain is a beauty pageant. So Miss Great Britain started back in 1945. So not only do I have the privilege of being the current Miss Great Britain, I'm also the 80th Miss Great Britain. I'm the 80th woman to wear this crown. Although what beauty pageants are today is very, very different to the stereotypes that might spring to mind from the 70s or 80s. Back then, it used to be about parading around in your swimwear, having your measurements read on stage, and that's just not reflective of what it involves now. Just as things have come on a long way since the 70s and 80s, think social media, the internet, even things like cars. Society has come a really long way, and also beauty pageants have too. So the role of a Miss Great Britain involves a lot of different things. You'll find me travelling up and down the country for pageant events. You'll find me doing charity work. You'll find me fundraising. A particular highlight of mine was doing a 125-foot charity abseil, despite being terrified of heights. Honestly, something I'm not keen to repeat, but I'm really proud of myself for doing. Okay, so let's get into what you all really want to know about. How do you win Miss Great Britain? Well, you start by applying. There are a couple of different ways that you can get to the national final of Miss Great Britain. The first is by taking part in one of our regional heats. And then if you win your regional title, you'll get the chance to represent that area at the national final of Miss Great Britain. So the direct applications come in where you live in an area that doesn't currently have a regional heat. So you'd apply direct on the website, and then our lovely national director, Saffron, will point you in the right direction. I have done 2 regional heats. I tell you what, I'll go and get my sashes for you. This is my little box of pageant magic, and in it I keep all the things relating to my pageant journey. So let me show you some of these things that I've got in this box. So the first thing I've got is my finalist sash from taking part in the Surrey heat. So this was my first experience of Miss Great Britain. I did the Surrey heat back in June 2024, and I was one of 30 girls that year. It was the most incredible experience. The standard was so high, and I actually ended up placing 4th at Miss Surrey, which was amazing. 10 days later, I went on to compete in the London heat. So I've got here, this is my Miss London finalist sash. So I competed in Miss London in July of 2024 and was fortunate enough, even though there was 28 other women in that final, to win the title of Miss Great Britain London. Here it is. This is my Miss London sash, and the thing that I know you all want to see. This is the Miss London crown. So you will notice the Miss London crown and the Miss Great Britain crown are the same, except for the Miss London crown is a smaller version of the Miss Great Britain crown. And aren't they just the cutest things in the world? It's one of the things I loved about Miss Great Britain is that the regional winners get the crowns that are a mini version of the big ones. So if you win your regional heat or you apply direct and you're given a direct finalist spot, you get to compete in the national final of Miss Great Britain. Now the national final is usually in October of each year. For me, I actually won on Friday the 17th of October 2025. That date will forever be etched in my brain now. That is it. So at the national final of Miss Great Britain, there are 5 scored rounds. And it's simple. The person with the highest score wins. One of my biggest tips to anyone competing in a pageant is to know what is scored in your competition. It always blows my mind when I speak to girls and they genuinely have no idea about how their pageant is scored or what they'll be marked on. The scored round should be the basis of your preparation. They should be ground zero. Those are the things that you should be preparing for. And then everything else you want to do should be additional to that. The 5 scored rounds are: number 1, your 2-minute one-to-one interview with the judges. This is your opportunity to tell them who you are, what you've done in the lead up to the competition, and what you were to do if you were to win. Number 2, you have the Onstage Fashionwear round. This is a chance for you to express your own personal style while showing them your confidence and your stage presence. Number 3, you have the Onstage Swimwear round. Now this is nothing like you saw in the 70s and 80s. You are not marked on how slim you are, how toned you are. You're basically not marked on anything to do with your body at all. You are marked on confidence, wellness, and self-love. And that for me is one of the most amazing things about Miss Great Britain. It's not about who looks the best on stage. It's about who radiates that inner confidence. And to be honest, the swimwear round was always the one that I was the most nervous of. I remember the first time I competed in the national final of Miss Great Britain back in 2024, so last year, where, by the way, didn't even place in the top 20. I had a cape on my swimwear and I remember half using it to hide myself because I just didn't feel that confident. I spent so much time prepping for the swimwear round just to make sure that I was feeling my most confident. And you know what? I was terrified. I think there's this misconception that us pageant girls, when we step on stage, we're not nervous, but everyone is nervous. But I came off the stage and I was absolutely buzzing. I'm gonna put a little picture up here of my reaction when I came off stage. It was just the most incredible, empowering experience. And I'm not gonna lie, if I can stand on stage in front of 600 people in a bikini, I can do anything. Moving on from the swimwear round, the next round is actually the eveningwear round. This is my favourite round. It's always been my favourite round. It's just a chance to be on stage. It's all a lot slower than the other rounds and just to soak it all in. For eveningwear, you are marked on things such as elegance, deportment, and confidence. So it's all about whether you're radiating that confidence and really enjoying that moment. Round number 5 is a very interesting one. So if you're lucky enough to make it into the top 5 of the competition, you will be asked an onstage question. Now we know approximately what the questions are in advance, so we're sent a few weeks before a list of about 20 to 25 questions so that it could be. But you get given 1 minute to talk to the live audience and to the judges and to convince them that you are the right person for that crown. That is the last mark. It's the last opportunity you get to win the crown. In case you can't tell, I'm someone that loves speaking. So for me this year, I was desperate to get to that top 5. So I had the opportunity to stand on stage and tell them about me, tell them why I wanted to win, tell them why this year was my year, and to cement that win, which still feels a bit surreal to say. So as I've said, at the end of the 5-score rounds, it's simple. The person with the highest score wins. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a fun fact about my experience last year. So last year, I actually didn't even place in the top 20. So for Miss, there are 40 contestants. So I wasn't even in that top half. So for me to go from not even placing last year to winning, I made history, first of all, because I'm the first person to ever do that. But also I like to think it shows that it's possible. So that is it. Those are the answers to my 2 questions. What is Miss Great Britain? And how do you win? I'm going to be filming a Q&A video probably in about a month's time. So if you have any questions or, would like to ask me anything about being Miss Great Britain or even just generally about life, pop a comment below and I would love to use some of those for a future video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you for next week's video.